You're sitting on the couch. You suddenly remember you left your phone charging in the bedroom, so you stand up. You have exactly one job: get the phone. You walk down the hall, you step through the bedroom door, and you stop because it's gone. The thought, the entire reason you're standing here, you're looking around a room you walked into on purpose 3 seconds ago with absolutely no idea why. So you stand there, you wait for it to come back, and eventually you give up and walk back to the couch. And the second you sit down, it returns. The phone. Of course, the phone. Everyone has done this, and almost everyone blames the same things. You're tired. You're getting older. You're distracted. Maybe something's wrong with your memory, but that's not it. What just happened to you wasn't a malfunction. It was a feature. Your brain did exactly what it was built to do. And the reason it happened has a name, and it's hiding in the one thing you never thought mattered: the door. Scientists call it the doorway effect, and in 2011, a psychologist at the University of Notre Dame proved that the simple act of walking through a doorway can reach into your mind and quietly erase what you were just thinking. His name was Gabriel Radvansky, and the experiment was almost suspiciously simple. He put people in a virtual world, rooms on a screen, connected by doorways. In each room was a table. Your job was to pick up an object from one table, carry it, and set it down on a table somewhere else. Pick up, carry, drop off, over and over. Sometimes to reach the next table, you just crossed the room. Same distance, same task, but you stayed in the same room. And sometimes to reach the next table, you walked through a doorway into a new room. Then, at random moments, the screen would freeze and ask you one question: what are you carrying right now? The results were startling. When people crossed the same distance inside a single room, they remembered just fine. But the moment they carried that object through a doorway, their memory of it dropped. They were slower. They were less certain. They forgot what was in their own hands, just because a door had passed behind them. Now you might have an objection. Maybe it isn't the door. Maybe it's the new room, new place, new things to look at, new distractions. Radvansky thought of that. So he ran it again. This time he had people walk through a doorway and then keep walking back through more doorways all the way to the very first room where they'd started. If a new environment was the problem, coming home should have fixed it. Standing in the original room, surrounded by the original stuff, the memory should have snapped back. It didn't. Going back through the doors didn't restore the memory. If anything, it got worse. The forgetting was never about where you ended up. It was about how many doorways you passed through to get there. And then he did the thing that really settles it. He took people out of the virtual world and into a real one. Real rooms. Real objects hidden in real boxes. Walk across the room or walk through a doorway. Same result. In the real world, on real legs, walking through a real door made people forget. So what is actually going on? Why would a door, a plain rectangular hole in a wall, have any power over your mind at all? To answer that, you have to understand something strange about how your brain stores your life. It feels like your day is one continuous stream. One long, unbroken movie playing from the moment you wake up. But that is not how your brain files it. Your mind doesn't record your life as a single reel. It chops it into scenes. Psychologists call them events, and the moments between them, event boundaries. Your brain is constantly, silently deciding, this scene is over, a new one is beginning. And when it closes a scene, it does something very practical. It takes everything you were just holding in your mind, the goals, the objects, the loose little thoughts, and it files them away. It packs up the old room in your head to make space for the new one. A doorway is one of the most powerful "this scene is over" signals your brain has. For hundreds of thousands of years, crossing a threshold meant something had changed. Inside the cave, outside the cave. This clearing, that clearing. Your brain learned to treat a doorway as the end of a chapter. So when you walk from the living room into the bedroom, your brain does exactly what it evolved to do. It says, new room, new scene, file the old one away. And the thought you were carrying, get the phone, gets packed into a box, sealed, and stacked in the back with the previous scene. It isn't gone. It's just been put away. which is why it comes rushing back the instant you return to the couch, back inside the scene where you first had the thought. You didn't lose the memory. Your brain filed it in the wrong room. And here's where it gets more interesting, because for years this looked like a clean, settled story. Doors cause forgetting, case closed. Until 2021, when a team led by a psychologist named Oliver Baumann at Bond University in Australia tried to repeat it, and at first couldn't. They built their own virtual rooms. They marched 74 people through doorway after doorway, and the doorway effect didn't show up. People walked through the doors and remembered just fine. That could have killed the whole idea. But instead of stopping there, they changed one thing. They gave people's brains more to do. As participants walked, they had them count backwards, out loud, at the same time, jamming up their working memory, loading their minds right to the edge. And that's when the doors struck. The moment the brain was overloaded, walking through a doorway started wiping memories again. Baumann's conclusion was precise, and a little unsettling. The doorway effect only happens when your brain is already in a vulnerable state. When you're calm, focused, and running light, you can carry a thought straight through a door and never lose it. But when your mind is full, juggling, multitasking, stretched thin, the door becomes a trap door, and your thought falls straight through. So the real question was never, why do doorways make me forget? It's, why is my brain so overloaded that a single door can knock a thought clean out of my head? And that is where this stops being about doors at all, because you were built for a world with very few of them. For most of human history, your ancestors moved across open land, holding one goal at a time. Find water, follow the herd, get home before dark. Your mind evolved to hold a single thought steady across a quiet landscape, and to gently set it down only when the scene truly changed. Now look at the world you actually live in. You don't walk through a few doorways a day. You walk through hundreds, and most of them aren't made of wood. Every time you switch tabs, you cross a doorway. Every notification is a doorway. Every time you unlock your phone just to check one thing and look up 9 minutes later, you have walked through a dozen rooms in your mind and slammed every door behind you. You are living in a house with infinite doors, and your ancient, threshold-sensitive brain is filing and refiling your thoughts so fast that half of them get packed into boxes you will never open again. That is why you walk into the kitchen and forget. That is why you open your phone and forget what you opened it for. It was never a sign that your memory is failing. It's a sign that your memory is working perfectly in a world that hands it far too many rooms. And maybe there is something almost kind in that. Your brain forgets the last room because it is desperately trying to keep you in this one. Every event boundary, every closed door is your mind clearing the table so you can be fully present in whatever comes next. It isn't trying to erase your life. It's trying to let you live it, one scene at a time. So the next time you stand frozen in a doorway, staring into a room with no idea why you came, don't be so quick to call it a failure. Your brain just turned the page. It filed the last scene away exactly as it was built to. All you have to do is walk back through the door. And there it is. So if you found yourself nodding along, if you will never stand frozen in a doorway quite the same way again, do me one small favor. Give this video a like and subscribe so the next strange little truth about your own mind finds its way back to you. And if your brain is still hungry, here's a good one to fall into next. Why does time itself seem to speed up the older you get? I broke down the science in that one. Go watch it. Your brain will thank you.